Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris. Every day I'm doing a vlog and I'm doing it for 1,000 days, guys. Thank you so much. Every day I talk about something uniquely different. If you could subscribe, like, and maybe give me a thumbs up and hit that bell notification, I'd really appreciate that. Every day I talk about something uniquely different, and today, well, I'm 57 and I'm lucky to be in a job, but if I were to lose that job, I may not be able to work again. I've got a feeling in this society that when you hit a certain age, people just don't get hired again. They really don't, and it's not easy to find another role that you like or you're even good at. And I think that's the challenge that probably most people in their 50s and maybe beyond 60s would have. And it is a challenge. Some people just enjoy working, they want to continue to work. There's a social aspect to it, and I get that. I completely understand it. But you find yourself really locked into a role, and it can be, I guess it can feel like a prison sometimes. You're locked into this position, knowing that you may not actually get another role again. And it's funny, it's one of the first questions that people ask, isn't it? As soon as they meet you, they say, what do you do for a living? And if you don't do very much, or if you're retired or whatever, people just go, oh yeah, okay, and they kind of write you off. I mean, sometimes people say, oh, what did you used to do for a living? That's kind of nice. But it does feel that if you're mid-50s, late 50s, early 60s, it's difficult, you know. It's knowing that you couldn't actually switch roles very easily. You feel like you're kind of locked into it, and by being locked into it, they kind of got you over a barrel, I think, really, haven't they? Unless, of course, you know, you're in that kind of occupation where you have this, where it's highly in demand, no matter what age you are. I guess if you work for NASA as a rocket scientist, or you do something that is absolutely awesome, then that's that's a lucky position to be in. I say lucky, but you've probably worked all your life for it. You've worked hard for that position. You've studied, you've gone to college, you've gone to university, you've thrown everything in the kitchen sink at it. You've had to sacrifice time with your family, low-paid jobs in order to get the role that you've wanted to get. And when you find yourself in your 50s, especially I think from mid-50s onwards, you kind of understand and realise that you are, I think, even more locked in to the role that you're currently doing. I don't think it's a bad thing. At least you're still working. At least you're earning an income. You're paying the mortgage, you've still got one. And that's another thing. It's amazing how many more people my age I know still have a mortgage, and they're still paying that off. I guess for a lot of people, they won't retire until they're at least 67. That's the other thing. I feel that retirement age in the UK should be 60. I really believe that. And I'm only 2 years away from that, 2 and a bit. So, being locked into a role, being locked into a job, I mean, it's even more difficult, isn't it? If you're locked into a role where it doesn't offer you anything that's meaningful. It's something that you just go to, and it pays the bills, pays the mortgage, and it keeps you sustained, keeps that roof over your head. And I think there's an awful lot of people in their 50s and 60s now who aren't much farther ahead than when they were in their 20s. They're still paying the mortgage. And they've had the trials and tribulations that life has thrown at them, and that's another reason that you can be locked in even more into that job. the job can really lock you down. Now, if you've got a job and you are in it and it is meaningful, then kudos, absolute kudos to you. I think that's absolutely fantastic. It's just a wonderful place to be, isn't it? It's almost not like work then. It really, really isn't. And you enjoy doing it, you love going to work. I mean, there are people that do love work. There are. And I'm in a fortunate position where I find myself in a role that I actually do enjoy most of the time. But there are plenty of people there who don't enjoy that, who find that really challenging and really hard for them, because not only are they locked in, they're of a certain age and they're just trapped, and they could be trapped by an awful lot of things. Really, there could be an awful lot of things that forces you to continue to work even when you don't want to. So yeah, I guess for me, I think, although there are roles out there when you're in your 50s, I think they're probably harder to get, because there's a lot of reasons why employers wouldn't take you on, isn't there? One is your age, right? So you're in your 50s, okay? You're in your 50s and you're coming to the end of your working life. But say, the retirement age here in the UK is 67. So if you're 55, you could do at least another 12 years if you were fit and able to. But there's a lot of people that just wouldn't want to go beyond 60. And if you're lucky enough to be in that position to go at 60, then I think you should. I met a couple the other day from Sweden. They're living their dream life, guys. They've got this small yacht, boat, whatever you want to call it, and they're sailing around the world, or at least around Europe. They're from Sweden. And he said he worked for some car manufacturing company out there. And he said he could have carried on working, but he got to the age of 61 and just left, just went, because he wanted a life. He wanted a life. I mean, this is a guy who's, been doing it for 10 years now and is so incredibly loving life and full of life. And, the job he had was fulfilling, was meaningful. But he realised if he didn't go when he did, he would never have gone. He's carried on earning the money and not gone out into the water and sailed around and done all these incredible things. So I think there's a balance to be had, isn't there? But are you likely to get employed again if you lose your job at, say, 50 or 55 or even 60? I'm not going to say it won't happen, but the chances are it may not. And that's where sometimes people find themselves in. They find themselves in this position where it's just they're just stuck there. And if you're in a role that you absolutely hate, it is going to be like prison. It's going to be horrible. There's going to be nothing good about it. So if you're getting towards your late 40s and you're thinking, actually, I might shift careers here, I probably would say go and do it. Because if you have to work till 67, then do it in a job that you love. Do it in something that you really, really want to do. Because then and only then it won't feel like you're trapped in a prison, even if you have a lot of commitments, there's a lot of outgoings, but you won't mind getting up in the morning because it serves your purpose, because you have this meaningful role and it's worthy to you, for you, it's worthy. And that's what, I think work should be. It should be meaningful. Now, not everybody can do the same job. Not everybody has the same skills. Not everybody wants to do the same role. But I do think if you're gonna switch careers, recognise it early on if you can, and then switch to a role which is more conducive to your skill set, more suitable for your opportunistic mind, so that you can grow within that role. And sometimes we don't know if we like a job, do we, until we actually do it. But I've started plenty of roles which I've hated right from the get-go. Even told a manager once that I was going to quit, and actually grew into that role. I grew into it, and I'm glad I didn't quit. I'm glad I stayed the course, because you learn so much and you grow when you learn. I think life becomes incredibly interesting when you actually get interested in doing something that has some value for you as a person. And it's a balance, isn't it? And the money has got to be there as well, and also doing the thing that you love doing. And that is the key, doing something that you just love to do. But if you're in your 50s and 60s and finding yourself in a position where you just can't do it anymore, well, look, I would say to you, if you can retire at the age of 60 and go, just go. You'll never have enough money, I get that. There'll never be enough money. But you know what? You may be able to trade it off with the fact that, all right, you won't be eating out every night of the week like you used to, but so what? You're on your time. You've retired, and that's a really good prospect. That's a really good place to be when you are on your time. And if you can get by doing that, just get by. Just get by. You could be rich in other ways. And as long as you've just got enough, just scrape past the line and live your life. And maybe you've got pursuits which will occupy your time, like this wet stuff behind me. It's called the sea, and swimming and kayaking, canoeing, boating. Look, I'm a water baby at heart. I've been brought up here. I've lived by the sea all my life. I love it. It's played an extra character in my life. I fly drones. I'm into videography, cinematography. I love doing all that kind of stuff, and I love being out on boats. My friend's got a boat, and he very, very, very kindly always invites me out on it, which I absolutely adore and love. So when I retire, would I be doing more of that? You can absolutely take that to the bank, absolutely 100%. And if it gets to the stage where after paying all my bills and having just enough to eat and doing all that lot, and if I'm only left with about £50 a month, I'm going to do it. I don't care. I'm not retiring to be rich. I'm retiring to be rich in the experiences of life, and being on my time, not being forced to be out there in all the weathers, clocking in. That's going to be so important to me. So anyway, if you're in your 50s or 60s, good luck. I wish you all the very best. And you never know. If you have happened to change careers in your 50s, I'd be really interested to read it in the comments. I really would. On that note, I do a vlog every single day, and I'll be back again tomorrow with something uniquely, completely different. If you could subscribe and give me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. On that note, this isn't bad. I say this a lot, but this isn't bad, is it? If I had to retire and just enjoy this every day, well, it's like living in heaven. It really is. On that note, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.